Hey everybody. Guess what? As Nodt's back this chapter. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to review Bleach chapter number 556, entitled, What is Your Fear? What is my fear? Like, is that a question? Like, you're asking me directly? Okay, well, I don't exactly know. I mean, personally, if I had to, just say something off the top of my head, I would say it's wasps. Yeah. It's totally wasps. So, chapter starts off with a flashback, which I love it when that happens, where we see Rukia and Renji falling down from the Soul Palace, and they're kind of talking about their tactical strategy of what they're going to do when they actually get to the Vendante. And Rukia's like, okay, Renji, remember what we discussed back in the Soul Palace, what we're going to do when we get to the Vendante. And Renji is just like, oh yeah, aren't we supposed to land and then just take out all the Sternritters sequentially and then make it to the palace and beat the living shit out of Juha Bach? There you go, right? So, Rukia's just like, okay, no, that's not even close to what we were discussing. By the way, you're an idiot. That's like the Kenpachi way of dealing with a situation, and look where he ended up. So, Rukia begins to just reiterate exactly what's been going on here, and it's been addressing a point that I've been bringing up for, pretty much ever since the first battle with the Quincy's way back in, in chapter, 496 or something, and it was that even if the elites of the Soul Society, like the captains and Ichigo and Rukia and Renji and Byakuya and even Kenpachi, could all train to the level to the point where they can fight the Sternritters and, manage to win. There's still, an entire invading army. Disregarding all the Sternritters, they still have all their foot soldiers that we haven't seen in a while, but they could still summon, a plethora of just an army platoon out of their pants whenever they want to, apparently, according with the Gunslinger Quincy did that. The Colonel Sanders Quincy did that against Shunsui. Now, granted, these foot soldiers are probably not that strong, but they're still a force that can be reckoned with here, and they still know what they're doing here. They might not be Quincy's in that regard, but, Juha Bach clearly has prepared them for battle. So Rukia is mentioning to Renji here, look, even though we've gotten so much stronger through our training, there's still only two of us. Ichigo's not going to be down here for a while. Byakuya is still in training. Even if the other people down in the Soul Society trained to the point where they could fight the Sternritters, we're still way outnumbered, even if we land in the middle of enemy territory here. I guess they already know about, the Seirete being washed over by the Vandenreich because they're kind of already aware they're going into enemy territory here. So, Rukia is just reiterating to Renji, just make sure whenever you're done with a fight, don't get caught up in another fight right after it. Go and hide somewhere, make sure you have time to heal, and, gather your thoughts and get ready for the next fight so they don't get the jump on us. So we cut back to the present, and we actually find that Renji was the one that was basically either, I don't know if he was having a dream about this or if he was just remembering it, but he's basically been hiding out since his battle with Maste Masculine at some place in the Vendante inside of a building, and he's waking up from sleeping, and he's just like, oh, yeah, okay, it's morning. My God, that sucks. I've been held up here all night. Now, time to go find the next Sternritter. So he just pops his head out the window and goes on to, fight off a Sternritter. However, little did he know that in the same building he was hiding in, behind a pillar, there was Batman! I mean, Najakoop! And, yeah, so he's just been basically, get ready for this, because you won't fucking believe me when I tell you this, but get this, alright? So, Nana was basically just standing behind this pillar for hours on end. He apparently knew Renji was there, and he first saw him sleeping, and originally he thought, oh, okay, nobody is this stupid to literally fall asleep in the middle of, enemy territory here. So he's like, okay, obviously it's a trick, so if I go up to him and try to attack him, he's probably gonna respond. Maybe he, booby-trapped the place, or maybe he's his attack will, initiate once he becomes awake, he knows about, oh, obviously the enemy's going to attack him. But Nana was watching him for, hours on end. That's not creepy at all, especially since this is the fucking guy that's watching you while you sleep. And he figured, no, he's just asleep. He literally just fell asleep. So instead of attacking him just then, he decided to just wait back behind this pillar and just watch him until he woke up. And even when Renji woke up, he just walked out the window, and Nana is just standing there watching Renji out the window, and he's just like, oh yeah, too bad though. I've never had to watch an enemy for so long. You're finished, Red Monkey. And and I'm sure the question that's popping into your mind right now, if Nanana realized that Renji was just asleep after watching him for a couple of hours, why didn't he just deliver the coup de grace right there? And I'm sure the reason because of that is because ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. And yes, I will not stop until I use that joke on every single Sternritter. We already have Askin, Bambietta, and Nanana down, so yeah, just get ready for it because it's coming, guys. I mean, I don't know why Nanana didn't fight him. I mean, maybe it's relating to his powers somehow. Like, he mentioned, like, observation. Like, he observed Renji for a while, so therefore maybe he knows of his abilities. You know, the thing that's pointing out to me, and this might just be a translating thing, is he called Renji a red monkey. Now, I don't know if that's just, like, Renji has red hair, and he's just calling him a monkey because he wasn't aware of his Zanpaktou power. But what if he is? What if, like, observing Renji for a long period of time actually gave him enough insight into his power? I was thinking maybe it related to the U in some way, and like analysis or observation, and I'm trying to think of a synonym for that starts with a U, but I really can't come up with anyone off the top of my head anyway, and I'm not going to breeze through the dictionary right now in the middle of a review, so if you want to maybe come up with, like, post an idea, because that's the only thing I'm thinking, like, the only reason he wouldn't have just have attacked Renji, because you might be saying, like, okay, maybe Renji would attack him, like it was a trick, but Nanana even said, like, after a while, he just came to realize, yeah, he really is just sleeping, so you know, he could have attacked him anyway, so maybe that's related to his power, why he didn't just do it, but at any rate now, Nanana is probably going to be the next battle against Renji, and that's a good thing, because we're finally going to figure out exactly what the guy can do, maybe how he defeated Rose, and now how that battle went, so hopefully, whatever power Nanana has, I hope we'll at least be able to, you know, plug it into exactly how he was able to finish off Rose. So we get the title page of the chapter, Bleach 566, What is Your Fear? And we cut back over to Rukia wandering around the Vendente, and she's truly amazed by the fact that everything was warped and changed by the Sternritter army, and the fact that they can't even sense, you know, other Shinigami's Ryatsu that much, particularly since most of the captains like Soifun and Toshiro that are in the Seirete have already been defeated or, like, passed out from exhaustion. She does say that she was able to sense Isane's Ryatsu, and she was in another undisclosed location. We don't exactly know where she is, but I'm assuming she's being protected by somebody else aside from just herself there, because obviously she's not really a battle-hearted warrior. Even with that fact, she's busy healing everybody. So we see her healing Rose, and he's in pretty bad shape, so he's probably not going to stand up anytime soon. So Rukia actually just stops and thinks and starts considering, like, maybe Renji's idea would be a good idea, since, you know, the Seirete is in the condition that it's in. Maybe we should just invade the castle in one fell swoop, and all of a sudden... Oh, bad touch times infinity. What? So, Rukia apparently has, like, the sensation that, like, a really creepy, like, cold hand is touching her from behind. She turns around and, of course, nothing's there, but she hears this voice just kind of echoing into her mind, and it's just, are you scared? Are you scared yet? Lonely, lonely. I'm so very lonely. And the enemy is revealed to be Sternritter F, As Nodt. Although, for a second there, before it was revealed that it was As Nodt, I was actually debunking on it being Sternritter L, the Lonely, because, you know, the person kept saying lonely, lonely all over again. Although, now that I think about it, that would probably just be a retreading of Stark in a Quincy outfit, so yeah, probably not going to be the Lonely for that. But at any rate, As Nodt's here, and I got some complaints from my last, you know, reviews that I did with As Nodt that it was a little bit too scary for the small children. So for the extent of this video, and to just please my audience, because I'm a little creeped out by the dude as well, I'm just gonna put kitty whiskers on him, because that makes everything so goddamn creepier than it actually is. Okay, take him off, take him off, take him off. Nothing can make that guy not look creepy. He's like the love child of Ozzy Osbourne and freaking that chick from The Ring, Sadako. Or, I don't know, Marilyn Manson and Karasu from Yu Yu Hakusho. Or, actually, you know what, Unohana after she was revealed to be the Kenpachi, and that creepy chick from The Grudge somehow. God damn, there's a lot of creepy black-haired people in the world. So Rukia turns around and actually recognizes As Nodt as the one that fought against Byakuya and stole his Bankai, to which As Nodt takes off his cloak, revealing that he has a button fetish, you know, whatever, and also states that he is also aware of Rukia, who she is as the brother of Byakuya, and states that if he is able to defeat her, then wouldn't her brother arrive and fight in her place, to which Rukia responds with, yeah, I'm actually not sure if he would do that. And then we get another creepy-ass expression by As Nodt. Let's, dang it. Looks like he's just gonna, like, jump out of the screen and, like, tear out my jugular vein. God, that guy's creepy. Actually, if you want to be completely accurate here, fear is more of a chemical-electrical process that takes place in our brain, probably left over from the more primal basic instincts of our Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon ancestors, probably around 60,000 years ago at the dawn of the Stone Age. And the interesting thing here is, Okay. God, their noses they're so tiny, they're like little needles, get them away from me! Yeah, in case you're curious, that's Smarty's deepest, darkest fear. I would elaborate on it a little bit more, but honestly, you do not need to know that story. So anyway, As Nodt begins fighting Rukia and sends out his fear thorns. I guess I'm just going to be calling them in her general direction. Now, I don't know if this is because of her training, because whenever As Nodt fought against Byakuya, who's apparently a Shunpo expert, he still ended up getting hit by the thorns. So I don't know if this is just Rukia's Shunpo being much more advanced ever since she was training in the Seirite, but she manages to avoid the thorns for the most part, and she also notices that whatever the thorns hit, a black viscous substance, oozes out. Now, from looking at this manga panel, because everything's in black and white, I mean, I originally thought it was just blood, but since Rukia isn't, referring to it as blood, it's probably not red, it's probably just a black substance. She probably doesn't know what it is. So, she's looking behind her, analyzing this. Meanwhile, she looks in front of her, and she sees another thorn is heading directly toward her face in the opposite direction. So, she pulls out Sode no Shirayuki, and I guess her skills with that have also improved because she doesn't use any of the dances, she doesn't use anything like that, she just pulls it out and just materializes an ice shield in front of her. Very much more similar to how Toshiro uses his Shikai, how Toshiro can just manipulate the ice and snow at his whim. He doesn't have to use the dances or the special techniques. So I don't know if this is like a separate dance, I don't know if this is like a Tsukishima, like a condensed version, so she can just manipulate like a little tiny ice barrier, or if she just got to the point with her sword where she can just manipulate ice, maybe not to the extent that Toshiro can. Toshiro's, Hyorinmaru basically being the king of ice-type Zanpaktous, but at least with, hers, maybe she can just manipulate ice to a more, maybe his Shikai level, I would say. So she materializes an ice sword in front of her, but unfortunately, even though it stops the thorn, it does not stop the substance from oozing directly through the ice and splattering all over her face. As Nodt, oh god, that sounded really fucking creepy. As Nodt's goo splattering all over Rukia's face. Anyway, As Nodt says that, yeah, basically it's futile trying to protect yourself from it. You won't be able to stop it with an ice shield. And then after that, we have a very similar thing, exactly what happened with Byakuya after he got infected, where, everything just kind of freeze frames with Rukia, just like, yeah. And she just, looks around at the fear that's washed over her as Nodt starts going on his creepy-ass monologue that he's so freaking good at. Your fear. You have fear now, don't you? You're frozen, aren't you? The deepest, darkest fear into the very depths of your soul, don't you? That's the embodiment of fear. And then it stops right there, though, and Rukia just looks up and is just like, yeah, fear? Yeah, that's right, isn't it, Rukia? You have so much fear. No, just shut the fuck up about your fear fetish for a second and let me just talk. What is your fear? Perhaps fear to you is something that is not capable of fear. Dun, 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 dun! Fearception? I don't know. Anyway, so that's the end of the chapter. Really quick one, all things considered here. At first here, the way that Rukia, responded to this, how she didn't really act the same way Byakuya did, because even Byakuya, who was smart enough to understand, okay, fear is just a necessary part of battle, he was trying to rationalize it, but look where that got him! Freaking zombie Rukia! God, I still see that in my nightmares. So, even with that, we still got zombie Rukia, so at first I was thinking, maybe Rukia didn't get splattered by it, but I'm pretty sure in this one panel here, she did get splattered by it, so, and we had that other panel where she was, frozen solid, and As Nodt was responding to it, so I'm assuming As Nodt, since this is his power, I would assume that he would be able to realize when he's getting, when his power comes in contact with another, with his target, with his intended target. So I'm pretty sure that's why he went on his whole, creepy-ass monologue there. But Rukia responds to it with just fear, maybe something that you fear is not something that can feel fear. And this is kind of like going back with Baragon. Yeah, remember Baragon, where he was going on that spiel about how my power to age things is absolute. Nothing can avoid it. Yeah, well, Baragon right there, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, my power is absolute, it can decay everything, and you can't say that without saying, by the way, this power, it can also backfire on me. So make that your primary objective in the matter. Same thing with As Nodt. He's going on, even back in his fight with Byakuya, he's like, fear affects all living things, it's something primal, it's something you can't get rid of, it's instinctual, that's just how fear is. And same thing you can go on with here, he's doing the same spiel to Rukia. I'm like, okay, well, As Nodt, by that definition, you're not exempt from it, you have something you fear as well. So I honestly can't make heads or tails of this, how Rukia was able to come in contact with it. I mean, I could just say the simple thing, she was able to overcome her fear, and maybe that's how she thought, okay, so she knew who As Nodt was from fighting Byakuya, so maybe she's thinking, okay, if anything these thorns touch feel fear, maybe she could have prepared herself before the battle, mentally, because Byakuya really didn't know what As Nodt's power were until right before he used them on him. So now that Rukia was aware of it, maybe she had time to, mentally prepare herself, maybe through something Ichigo did, in that Inner Sanctum training or something. Maybe she was able to find clarity in her mind, and she was able to, I don't know, counter the fear by thinking, okay, if if what he fears is for me to not to feel fear, then I need to not to feel fear. So maybe we'll get a better explanation next chapter exactly how she was so adamant about this, but really we have nothing to go on here, so that's basically how my analysis ends for that. So then we get the... Dude, what did you say to make Smart Tekking cry like a little bitch again? Yeah, bread. Fuck, dude. Read the post-punk Hazard arc. That's really all I got to say about that. Alright, so, for the rest of the chapter, though, I mean, it was really nice seeing As Nodt again. It honestly really was. That guy's been absent for maybe 55 chapters in terms of a fight. I really want to see what this guy's resurrection is, because I don't know why, but it would be pretty cool to see it. I mean, not resurrection, freaking Volt stench. God, I'm still stuck on the Wakamundo thing here, but he's an interesting character, As Nodt. I really think he's interesting, because he's one of the Sternritters that seems like his own original design. He doesn't seem like he's like piggybacking on any of like the former Ronkar or Espada designs, like Driscoll. Driscoll, I kind of said like the power's the overkill. I was like, okay, kind of similar to Yami there. The big brutish guy. Same thing with Master Masculine, but at least with As Nodt, his power is a little bit more original, something we really haven't seen in Bleach yet, and it's still kind of ambiguous exactly how his power operates to the extent of everything affecting like how the fear works on certain individuals. As well as his Volt standing we've got to see yet. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Very brief chapter, of course, as I said earlier. So yeah, Tekking101. Yeah, just have fun with Freddy Krueger in your dreams tonight, guys. Dude, you just totally messed up law checking. Is it a corner in the field position, man? It's not cool, man. It's not cool. Oh, shit. Crap. Okay, I did not expect you to do that, bro. Smarty, fire up the cloner. It happened again. 1,000. Yeah, well, I thought he got over it. Hey everybody, Smart Tekking here, here to tell you that you should totally hit that subscribe button below to get up-to-dates on all of Tekking101's newest videos that he makes for the channel. Over in one of these areas, there should also be a video to his first chapter review of Zombie Powder, the first serialized manga by Tite Kubo, as well as a link to his Pokemon White LP and to his vlog channel. And so yeah, I just wanted you to tell you about those links, and I'm gonna just go away somewhere where there's no hummingbirds or pictures of hummingbirds or any kind of reference to hummingbirds.